Hi, this is Sintam Patel and welcome back to the video lecture series of the fundamentals of machine design. In this lecture, we will see the design and the examples of the keys. The keys, what is key and the different types of the keys, those theories we have already explained in the previous lectures, and if you are unaware with those terms, then you must refer the previous lecture before starting this lecture, because those concepts are going to be the vital for this particular lecture, and if you do not know those concepts, then you must have to refer that particular concepts, go through those concepts in order to understand today's lecture. Okay, so first of all, this lecture contains the design procedure of the keys, which contains the different equations with the use of which we are going to design the dimensions of the key, and examples based on those equations will be explained in this particular lecture, so that you will be able to calculate any example in your examination with this method. Okay, so we are going to start our lecture with this introduction, and let's get started with the first slide where the theory of the design of the key is explained. As you can see on the screen, the key diagram is represented where the rectangular key with the width W and height H is represented, and the length of the key is L. So if it is the rectangular key, then the proportion for the rectangular keys are already discussed in the previous lecture, and that was W equals to D by 4 and T equals to D by 6. The height of the key can be written as a T in this particular segment. If you are using the T instead of the H, that is perfectly okay with the examiner, because the height of the key and the thickness of the key both are the same, and that's why you can utilize the H and T in place of each other. So we are going to see the different design procedure of the key, and that is nothing but the theoretical portion of the shear stress in the key. So if a shear stress is generated into the key, then it will cause the failure of the key in this manner, where the upper portion of the key is subjected to a force in this direction, and the lower portion of the key is subjected to a force in the opposite direction. So if those forces are in opposite direction and which causes the failure in the key, then the material of the key would slide on in this, will try to slide like this. It will try to slide in this direction, and it will fail due to this type of a failure. So if this type of a failure occurs, then your design is failing, and you don't want this type of a failure to occur during the working condition, and that's why to avoid this type of a failure, you will utilize the equation of the shear stress, where you will ensure the safety of the key in the shear condition. So if the torque transmitted is a T, which is in the unit Newton into mm, and the tangential force acting at the circumference is in Newton, then it can be written as a T upon D by 2. So the shear force, which is also a tangential force upon at a resisting area, so the resisting area is the area where the material is trying to resist this type of a resistance or this type of a failure. So it will be a rectangular area which can be seen from the top view, and if you watch it from the top view, then your rectangular area would be W into L. How we can say that W is the horizontal length and L is the length of the key, which will give you the rectangular area which look like this, but this type of area will be in the middle portion of the key. Okay, so if this area is the resisting area, then your equation of the shear stress will be this. Using this equation, we can utilize the formula of the F, that is the tangential force, that will give you this equation. By the simplification, we can easily derive the shear stress equation, that is tau D equals to 2 times T upon dW into L. So this is the final equation of that shear stress. Using this equation, if you know the value of the diameter of the shaft, and if you know the value of the width and the thickness of the shaft, then the torque will be given in your given data, and a value of the length of the key can be calculated, or vice versa. If any one value is unknown and the other is given, then you can utilize this equation to find the rest of the values or find the rest of the dimension of the key. So this was the basic equation of the key design under the shearing. So the key may fail due to shear but key may fail due to crushing also, because the key is the component which is in contact with the shaft and the hub, and if this contact is not causing the relative motion between them, then this type of a key will suffer the crushing stress generated into the material, and that's why we need to find out the crushing stress that is generated into the material. Again, the tangential force which was already discussed in the previous slide can be written as a T by D by 2, and if you write the equation of the crushing stress, then it will be compressive force upon resisting area. So force upon resisting area is H by 2 into L. Why we have taken the value H by 2? Because the area which is in a contact with the shaft is the only half region. The half region is in the contact with the shaft, and the half region is in the contact with the hub. So we are considering the contact with the shaft only, because the value of the hub will be different from the shaft, and we are calculating the shear crushing failure due to the torque transmitting from the shaft first, and that's why there are chances to find out chances to get the maximum torque transmitted from the shaft only, and that's why we will focus on the shaft only, and half portion is only connected with the shaft, and that's why we have taken the area H by 2 into L. So if you simplify this equation by putting the value of the tangential force as a T upon D by 2, then you will simplify this equation and get this final equation as a sigma C equals to 4 upon T 4 into T upon dH into L. So this was the basic equation using which you are going to find the length of the key or any dimension of the key which was not given in your given data. So we will see the examples based on those equations, so that you can have the clear idea about the method that we have already seen. First example contains the given data like this, where the 45 mm diameter shaft. So the diameter of the shaft is provided, and which is written in this given data like this. This is the 45 mm diameter D is provided in the given data, which is made up of the steel having the SYT equals to 400 Newton per mm square. So the SYT, that is the yield point stress, yield point tensile stress, is 400 Newton per mm square. A parallel key of the 14 mm width and 9 mm thickness made of the steel having the SYT of 340 Newton per mm square. Mark these words because they have provided the material of the shaft different from the key. So if you are calculating the stresses for the material, then you must calculate the different stress for the shaft and the different stress for the key. So that's why you will have to understand the basic concept regarding the stress when the materials are different for the different components. So the material for the shaft is different and for the key is different in this particular example. So you will have to notice that particular difference. So is to be used with the shaft to find the required length of the key. So our intention is to find out the length of the key. If the shaft is loaded to transmit the maximum permissible torque, use the maximum shear stress theory and take the factor of safety as a 2. So they have given the value of the factor of safety, and the factor of safety is provided 2. So we will try to find out the value of the factor of safety or the dimensions using this equation, that is W is given in the given data, that is W equals to 14 mm, H is given as a 9 mm, sigma YT of the shaft is 400 Newton per mm square, and sigma YT of the key is 340 Newton per mm square. Now the factor of safety is given as 2, then we will be able to calculate the allowable stress in the shaft and the key. So the allowable stress for the shaft is maximum stress upon factor of safety. So factor of safety is 2. If you divide it with the 2, you will get the allowable stress as a 200 Newton per mm square. The similar method is applied for the key, and for the key the allowable stress is 170 Newton per mm square. So according to maximum shear stress theory, tau equals to sigma y by 2. Sigma y by 2 equals to tau. So for the tau for the shaft is equals to sigma y by 2, and that comes out to be the 100 Newton per mm square, and tau for the key is a sigma y by 2, that comes out to be 85 Newton per mm square. So if you have the values of both the shear stress, then the sigma yt of the key will be sigma c of the key. Why so? Because they have not provided the separate value for the crushing stress, and that's why we are going to calculate the we are going to assume that the sigma yt or sigma c both are the same. So if you want to calculate the further example, then you must have to understand these equations. Those equations are boxed in this particular example, and the first one is the T equals to pi by 16 tau d cube. Using this equation, we are going to calculate the diameter of the shaft, which is already provided, which is given as a 45. So if this shaft diameter is already known, then what we are going to do, we are going to calculate the torque value. So we have the value of the shear stress, and this shear stress will be inserted for the shaft. This is the equation of the shaft, and that's why the shear stress will be utilized for the shaft only. Okay, so tau will be T will be 1789.2 into 10⁻³ Newton into mm. That is the answer of the torque that we have already calculated. Now for the length of the key, the shear stress that we have already discussed in the previous slides, shear stress can be calculated using the 2T upon dW into L. Now we have the value of T, we have the value of dW into L, but we do not know the value of L. So what we are going to do, we are going to keep it as it is, and then making the subject and calculation, you will get the answer of the L as a 66.82 mm. For crushing, sigma c is equals to 4T upon dHL, and we know the value of T, D, H, but we don't know the value of L. So by making the subject L and by simplifying, you will get the answer of the L as a 103.95 mm. By considering the larger answer, taking the larger answer, the L will be considered as a 103.95, which is nothing but the 104 mm. So this was the end of our example. We will see another example, and we can say that another derivation of this chapter, that is the derivation regarding the square key, in stronger than the rectangular key against the crushing. And you will have to justify this statement in your examination. That's why the solution will be done using this equation, that is the crushing equation. So if you consider this equation for the square key, for square key H equals to W equals to D by 4, and if you put this value in the equation of crushing, then you will get the answer like this. If you make the subject TS, then your answer would be like this. For the rectangular key, similar method is applied, but for the rectangular key, W will be D by 4 and H will be D by 6. That is the only difference between the rectangular key and the square key. Then if you put all these values into this equation of the crushing stress, then you will get this answer by the simplification like this. And by transmitting the capacity, torque transmitting capacity can be calculated using this equation. If you compare both the torque transmitting capacity, then the denominator of the square key is smaller than the rectangular key. Then we can say that the square key torque transmitting capacity is larger than the torque transmitting capacity of the rectangle. So this is the statement which we required. This was the statement which we required to justify, and we have just justified the statement. With this, we completed our theoretical portion as well as our example portion, and we conclude our lecture with the completion of this chapter, that is the keys. So we will see different other concepts regarding the shaft in the upcoming lecture. We conclude our lecture over here. Thank you.